Kutter Crawford is off to a fantastic start this season, but just how did this change occur? In his previous 2 seasons, Crawford posted rather pedestrian numbers of a 3-6 record and a 5.47 ERA in 21 games, 12 of those being starts for the 2022 season. And then in 2023, it was a slightly more improved 6-8 record with a 4.04 ERA in 31 games, 23 of them starts. However, so far in the young 2024 season, Crawford has been unbelievable, posting a 1-0 record with a 0.66 ERA in 5 starts. His ERA plus is currently sitting at 6.36. To put that in perspective, a score of 100 is considered league average. But how did Crawford improve so much in just the span of 1 season? For the Boston Red Sox, one of their biggest statements for the offseason was improving the pitching, something that gave them trouble throughout 2023. Though they did it in a different manner than many had hoped. Instead of going out and signing a group of pitchers to revamp the pitching rotation, they instead went and improved the pitching infrastructure of the organization. Gone was Dave Bush, replaced as the pitching coach by Andrew Bailey after a successful run in San Francisco. Another addition was Kyle Bodie, the founder of Driveline Baseball, as a special advisor to Craig Breslow. Driveline Baseball is a player development center established back in 2008 and has grown in size and influence as it's seen as one of the leaders in player development, to the point several big leaguers spend their offseason working out with Driveline coaches. Usually, this is to develop a new pitch, add velocity, or just make some tweaks that they wouldn't be able to do during a season. The final addition was the poaching of Justin Willard from the Minnesota Twins to become the new director of pitching for the Red Sox organization. These 3 additions aren't the only reason why the pitchers have improved. You need to give credit to them for putting in the work and effort to get these results. And while Crawford gives up his share of walks, currently sitting at a rate of 3.6 per 9 innings, he manages to fight and battle through any difficulties on the mound. This was shown in his latest start on April 20th against the Pittsburgh Pirates. In it, despite not having his best stuff, he managed to labor through 6 innings, giving up only 1 run despite surrendering 7 hits and 3 walks. But what might be leading this change in Crawford's performance might be something as simple as a change in his pitch choices. Looking back to his 2023 season, Kutter Crawford threw his 4-seam fastball nearly 40% of the time. In 2024, that number has dropped slightly to 29%, and instead, his cutter is now his number 1 pitch, just edging out the 4-seamer. In 2023, he used his cutter the exact same amount of time at 29%. It's the rest of his pitches that have changed. His slider and curve have seen a drastic drop-off, going from 6% and 12% of use respectively to almost 0% for his slider and only 6% for his curve. Meanwhile, it's his sweeper that has seen a remarkable growth in usage. Developed in 2023, the sweeper was used only 7% of the time by Crawford. This season, he's nearly quadrupled the usage as it sits at 27%. Paired with his fastball and cutter, those 3 pitches account for roughly 75% of all pitches he's thrown in a game. In 2023, his fastball and cutter alone would have amounted for 67% of all pitches he'd thrown, and with the curve added in, those 3 would amount for 79% of the pitches he would throw on average in a game. It seems that Crawford has pulled back on his fastball usage slightly and replaced his curve with a sweeper as his main breaking pitch. Another reason for Crawford's success is his ability to limit hard hits off of him. 5 starts into the season, his hard hit percent is sitting at 29.4% and actually has him in the 85th percentile. His hits, for the most part, aren't being hit too hard against him. Add to it his expected batting average against, sitting at .182, and there aren't many batters actually getting on base by hits. Even the average exit velocity against him is currently sitting at 85.8 miles per hour, putting him in the 87th percentile for pitchers. Likewise, he's managed to lower his fly ball percentage down from 31.9% to 27.9%, while increasing his ground ball percentage to 39.7%, and even his pop-ups have increased to 17.6%. With softer contact, it's been easier for Crawford to work around walks and base hits, allowing him to limit any potential damage. Add to it the movement of his pitches, and Crawford has become a master of deception and limiting contact. Despite being one of his less used pitches now, his curve is averaging 61.4 inches of vertical drop this season. That alone is nearly 5 inches more than the average movement of similar curveballs. His cutter and four-seamer both move more than the average, while it's his sweeper that moves nearly 3 inches less vertically and breaks 1.5 inches less horizontally than the average. Though when you compare the break of his sweeper from 2023 to this season, Crawford has actually increased the horizontal movement by almost an entire inch. Though Crawford still has some issues. Not huge, they could come back to hurt him later in the season. One would be the decrease in the percent of out-of-zone swings, having dropped 3% from 31.9 in 2023 down to 28.9% this season. Likewise, his first pitch strike percentage dropped 5.3% this season, going from 62.6% in 2023 to 57.3% this season. He's still throwing a first pitch strike over half the time, but the drop means that he's had to throw extra pitches, which takes him out of the games earlier than some would like. Leaving early in the game was an issue last year, as Crawford typically tired out around the 5th inning, something that has been seen this season as well. Of his 5 starts, he has only made it past the 5th twice, and in one start, he didn't make it out of the 5th, though his latest start was a positive sign towards him fighting to stay in for deeper outings. If Crawford wants to pitch deeper than 5 innings, he'll need to work on his whiff percentage and swing percentage to get batters out and to cut back on his walks. Kutter Crawford looks to build off of the foundation of a strong first month and continue his ascension through the rest of the season. Coming off of a season where he threw the most innings in his professional career since 2018, Crawford should be able to withstand the long season and its battles. If he continues to rely on the style of pitching he's done through April, there's no doubt Crawford should take the next step as the quality starter everyone sees him as. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to the channel. It would mean a whole lot to me. Thank you. Have a nice day.